Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Area Specialist podcast. Today's a special podcast because we're diving into the subject of Movember. We have a few of the guys here doing Movember. So we really wanted to hone in on some of the topics that regarding depression, regarding male, what's the word I'm looking here for here, guys?
Male health.
Male health, mental health especially,
Yeah.
I think. So I have with me here Sam Master.
Hello.
You guys have met Sam Master before. He's been on the quiz shows. And you've also met Toth, who is the property manager.
Hey guys.
Or one of the property managers here.
One of these.
Specialists. So let's kick this off by telling everyone we have joined up to do Movember together. I was going to do it, but I probably didn't want to outgrow the best mustache in the whole office. So.
I think Sam Master's pretty
I don't think I've ever seen you without a beard or a moustache. I think it just comes naturally to you.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys.
Male caveman.
I'm definitely one of those guys that when I shave, I just look like a 8-year-old boy. No one takes me seriously. So if I shave it off,
I think at your age, I think maybe that's a positive thing.
Yes, you're probably right. Dylan's got a nice little mustache. He's got a.
Oh, guys, I'm trying. I'm 2 weeks in, and it's looking like a 16-year-old boy as well. You know, it's year 10, exams, but I'm slowly getting there, bro.
Just coming through. So, Sam, let's start with you. You initiated this Movember, not a competition, but the Movember
initiative,
initiative here at Area Specialist.
Yes.
Tell us. Let's get right into it and ask you why this is important to you.
So there's a story behind it, and let's talk about that because I haven't really spoken to many people about it. Few years ago, this is going back maybe 3 years, if I'm not wrong, 3 to 4 years. I used to work with one of my work colleagues that was around 23 years of age, and we used to work together, and we got along really, really well. So we would sort of have lunches together during our lunch break. And also sort of socially a little bit as well. And what had happened was I was working in this place. We were together, I think, for 12 to 24 months working in this organization, and I moved on to another workplace, and we sort of lost a little bit of touch, but we're still in contact. And then after a few months, we decided to catch up. This is sort of going back Christmas time as well, actually. And out of the blue, he called me. He's like, "Oh, let's catch up for a drink." And I did. This was this quite a bit at this pub in Burwood. And we just started talking, and he was my friend. He was sharing what's happening in his personal life. Yeah. That he broke up with his girlfriend, and there were a few things going on, but it didn't seem excessive, or it seemed like we were just having a conversation and just sharing our lives like we do when you catch up with your friends. You talk of work, you talk of personal life, family, and we had a drink. I think we just walked for 2 hours, around, and that was it. So just normal catching up with your mate. And then after a couple of weeks, this is during I think it was Christmas Day, 25th or 26th, Boxing Day. I think Christmas Day, I got a call on my phone with this number that wasn't saved on my phone. And I took that call, and then, and it was, "Oh, is this Sam Master?" And I'm like, "Yes, it is." And there was this female, and she's like, "Oh, I'm this person's mum." So I'm not going to disclose the name, but this person's mum. And I'm like, "Well, yes, hello, how are you?" And she said to me, "This person is no more." And she started crying on the phone call, and that was the end of that conversation because she was crying so much. And I'm like, "Wow, what's going on?" So I contacted my friends that we used to work together at this previous place. And I'm like, look, this is the call I got from X's mum. And then she called his sister and all that stuff. And we found out that he took his life. He, because of things going on in his life, he jumped off this car park and he was obviously pronounced dead. So that was a very, very deep and had a very big impact on my life. And hence, I think men's health is very important more in terms of awareness, because we hear a lot about things that are going on with different diseases and everything, but I think men's health is not spoken about much.
So after you met up with him, how long after?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, so I was a little bit disappointed in a way that, and again, I think being males, and I sort of come from that background where men have to be strong. You shouldn't be really expressing yourself or shown weak, because a man shouldn't be doing that. You know what I mean? In a nice way, obviously. And maybe that was the same thing that happened, because he came from a really loving family. It was his parents, elder sister. He was the youngest, 23, very smart, going places. Didn't have any massive issues, I'm presuming here.
And sometimes you just don't know. Sometimes
Exactly.
If you only know as much as someone's willing to share. And
That's right. Yeah,
This is true.
you said you felt disappointed in yourself.
Yeah, I did feel disappointed because maybe I could have done a little bit more and maybe so that he could share what he was going through, and maybe I could have done something about. But obviously, it's hindsight. So I think that's why I'm so passionate about this. And it's not about money or charity, like raising funds. It's great, you can raise funds, but it's more about the awareness factor for me.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yep.
You know,
Absolutely.
and
Because if it wasn't for these kinds of things, we wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation.
yeah, exactly.
And essentially, that's what we're doing. We're making people more aware.
Yeah, it's very interesting. We live in such a age where technology is so at its highest point, I would say, and we have text messages and we have different apps for Facebook, social media, but I don't think so. We socialize that much, and I don't think that there's real conversations really happening, especially for men, because we're talking about that. If I'm going through that, I should feel comfortable, not really talking to everyone about it, but maybe have one or two people in your life that you can sort of share exactly how you're feeling and talk about it.
Absolutely.
Because I think that's half the battle.
Yeah.
If I can express and I can talk to someone about, I already feel a little bit lighter. And then regardless of if I get any valuable advice or not, I've verbalized it. I've took it out of my head, because I think that's where the issue is. It's in your head and becomes bigger and bigger and bigger because you're not taking it out.
Absolutely.
Because look, I've been, I wouldn't say depressed, or because obviously it's a very large term, because there's thing as depression, which is clinically, but I've been low in my life, and it's great that I have not many people, but I had my mum when I was single, that I could talk to her about what I was feeling, and we would discuss about it, and she would give me advice. And then after getting married, I think it's having my wife there where you can talk about. So having those important people in your life, I think it's good to express, and I think that's most
And on the topic of like with all these, we have so many social apps, right? But when we're more isolated than we've ever been.
Yeah.
And I was reading some studies in regards to that too, that they're finding that people are losing that human connection with one another. I mean, you get on the train or you get on a bus, even you get in the car with your friends.
What's on your phones
and
and
walking on the
iPads.
street.
And you know what? One of the main ones is going out to dinner.
Yes.
Like everyone's on their phone.
Mm.
When was the last time you saw a couple talking to each other? And now you just look at them, they're just on their phone.
Yeah.
You're like, and then we're going to look back on these days and we're going to think,
How stupid we
what a
were.
waste. We just wasted this beautiful human connection that we could have had.
Mm.
And I think that's going to be a major regret with people our age.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we came from an era where we had to communicate.
Yes, exactly.
You know, we had to go to your house. We had to knock on your door to get you to come out. Right? But now it's just a text.
So I can resonate with some of what Sam's saying. I've obviously had friends in my life that have gone through some pretty difficult things, and myself too. I went through some rougher periods when I was younger, and I think it definitely helps you build character, but you also have to have a foundation or a group of people that you can rely on.
Absolutely.
And I'm very, very, very lucky in that my dad comes from a European background, and so himself and his dad, they are quite emotional. I guess it's just a bit of a Hungarian trait, but they're very honest with their feelings, and they're very open to discussing those sorts of things, and nothing's really hidden. And I think I'm really lucky that I have that, so I've never felt like I can't talk to people about things, and it's taught me too, because I have friends that are in that scenario. And one thing that people always ask me is they're always like, when you get off your phone with your friends or your family, you tell them you love them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like Sam was saying, unfortunately, after 2 weeks of seeing one of his good friends, he can't no longer speak to him. If the last thing I get to say to someone is that I love them and that I care about them, obviously that's the last thing I want to have said to them. So
yeah, that's so true, right?
Mm.
Like you never want to leave. And we take it for granted. Like we just leave and we say, "I'll talk to you later."
Yeah.
But that's not always the case, and that's extremely sad.
Mm.
And of course, like that's life, right? Like we're born and we die, but in those circumstances, it's always a tragedy.
So I think there's two things that are most important where everyone sort of needs to talk about. And one is life is life, and life happens. And there is no perfect life, okay? There is no person on this earth that is always happy and has nothing, regardless of social background, regardless of ethnicities, regardless of what country you live in, regardless of how much money you make or not. People are going to have ups where there's going to be happiness, and you're going to have downs where there's going to be sadness. So it's normal to be sad. It's normal for things to happen in your life. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. So, like when there's good happening in our life and we are happy and we share with people, or you go out, and everything's going perfect in your life. Similarly, there's going to be days or weeks sometimes where things are not going to work out according to plan, and it's okay. Mm-hmm. It's normal. Mm-hmm. As they say, sweet ain't sweet without the sour. And regardless of who you are, what age, it's going to happen. So just be ready for it, and I think awareness, be aware of, like, oh yeah, cool, something bad happened. Oh, this is normal. Let's find a solution for it. So that's one thing. So there's no perfect life or perfect person, and so it's normal to be happy and sad and have.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So there's a phenomenon of social media that is. It's creating a lot of depression because we only post the good things that happen to us.
Yeah.
So say someone that's not doing so well, they see say 10 people doing so well in their life just from the post.
Yes.
Like it's the assumption you make in your head, and then you're like, what have I done with my life?
Yeah, why doesn't it happen to me?
But in reality, like if you look at the good stuff that happens to you, if you were to post all these good things, like you would see that you do have an okay life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like we have. But it's that. I
think it's the perception that you get while looking at those videos and pictures online or Instagram. Say, oh wow, they travel the world, or they have this amazing car. Oh wow, they're living such an amazing life.
They must be happy.
They must be happy. Yeah. But happiness has nothing to do with what's external. It's internal. It's an inside job. Mm-hmm.
Something else that I find really important, and so when I was younger, when I first got out of school, one thing I really wanted to do was mental health and alcohol and drugs. It's not really something that many people know about me that I was interested in, or that I still do have an interest in. And one thing I find really important is how one thing may affect you might be completely different from how it affects another person. So whilst you might think, oh, well, that's quite minor, but that effect on that person might be greater than the effect that it might have on yourself too. Just like, if something was to affect them in a certain way, you might be, better or okay with it than they might be. So I think sometimes it's important to stop and remember that this person's hurting, and hurt is hurt. It doesn't matter on what volumes or where that goes to. That if someone's hurting or someone's unhappy with a portion of their life, that that's something you've got to be there to help with. And for me, it's a testament of Sam's character wanting to organise this, and it's something that he's willing to put his heart on his sleeve and discuss. Just a testament to the kind of person he is. And,
Absolutely.
and I'm pretty grateful to be sitting here having a chat with him about some of these issues. And
well, it's good to talk about it. I think.
Yeah.
Because everyone needs to know, and especially especially younger people. Obviously, I don't consider as old, but I think so. I'm in my 30s, but the younger male and females in their 20s, I think, because they've grown up with technology and just apps and Facebook and everything, I think sometimes they are more prone to these things. To be honest, and you make a decision at that point of time that you might feel is right, but that's all you can think about. But that could be the worst decision ever, because there's no turning back. And the second thing I wanted to discuss was, we are all human beings, and all we need is happiness, and happiness is an emotion.
Yes.
And that emotion comes from human connection. You might be happy for a day, or for a week, when you buy a new car or a new house, but having those...
Being content.
Exactly.
I think there's a big difference between happiness, because if you buy, say a really nice bottle of wine, that's going to make you happy for like an hour, let's just say. But being content is a complete different game, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And
material things can't make you content.
Definitely not. And it's internal. You have to sort of, accept things though the way they are. The issue is we are discontent. And look, having dreams and goals is great, but what I'm saying is first start from yourself. If you're happy within, doesn't matter what happens outside. And again, everyone has to work hard. You've got to strive to be successful. Obviously, we work in this business, so you have to do that. But if you start off with the wrong foundation from yourself, then doesn't matter what happens around you, it's never going to make you happy.
This is true.
So let's obviously be aware that, doesn't matter who you are, what position, what age, everyone needs that connection. You being nice to someone could mean potentially to save their life, because all everyone needs is someone to say, how are you doing? Are you okay? Can we talk about it?
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you?
And it's something I take pride in. It can be things like going to the bank when I drive through, if I'm getting takeaway and maybe having a naughty cheat day, or if I'm going to the supermarket and I go through the register, and when you're working in an industry where you're dealing with customers on a regular basis, you understand how you want to be treated. So that in turn teaches you how to treat others and how to be respectful, because you don't know that person behind the register that's serving you, they could be having the worst day of their life. But you're not aware of that. It could be as little as, hi, how are you today? I'm good, thank you. They might not be telling you the truth. Obviously, you're not going to have a heart-to-heart with someone on the spot, a stranger. But that moment of, that person asked me how I was. They said to me, have a great day. Enjoy the weather. What are you up to this weekend? Things like that is what I take pride in, because it doesn't matter how much money you're making, what your stature is, or what your title is, or your foundations as a person is the most important bit. And that's something that I find really, really important. You treat everyone equally.
Exactly.
And how you also
And it's nice, like these, say the checkout girls at that supermarket, they see 1,000 people every day, and then when say you come along and you say, like, you genuinely ask them how they are, or I'm sure they go home and they put a little smile on their face. It has to, because like for me, if I have generic things coming through my life every single day, and then someone stands out and you can feel that sincerity. You remember, and that puts a.
I think that resonates with business too. I mean, your clients can tell when you're being genuine and when you're not. So I think those little things in life definitely teach you, how to approach people in a way that you understand that at any time of any day that they could be going through something that you're not aware of.
And being nice doesn't cost.
No, being nice is free.
Being
Having
nice.
manners is
And a
free.
true character is how you treat that person at the checkout or at the takeaway compared to how you treat your boss or a CEO or a celebrity or your favorite business person, whoever it is. If you treat everyone the same, that's where true character lies, rather than, because this is a celebrity, I'm going to wait in line for 10 hours to say, just to even look at them, and this person, because they are checkout, they're beneath me, I'm going to treat them as shit.
It reminds me, I think, of a quote from, I think it's Jack Ma, who's the founder and CEO of Alibaba.
Oh, yes.
And the stories of him when he first started his business, that he would get on his hands and knees after everyone else had left the office, and he would be scrubbing the kitchen floor to make sure it was clean for his staff members the next day.
Yeah.
I think it was him that said that you treat everyone equal, from the CEO to the cleaners to the mail guys to the office managers to the person on reception. You treat everyone equally, and you treat everyone how they want to be treated.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's really, really important. But again, another reason why I wanted to sit here, and I was happy to sit and chat with Sam today, is I think men don't pay enough attention to not only their mental health, but also their physical health as well. I think, for females, things that are upcoming and regular, it's something that they discuss with their friends and they find importance in. That, cool, I've got to book this in, I've got to, obviously having female friends myself, I hear the different conversations, but you won't generally hear a guy say, hey guys, I'm actually feeling not too great, I think I better go see the doctor.
Because it comes down to that thing where you have to be a man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And if you show any emotion, then you're letting down the tribe.
Yeah.
Well, you were born with,
emotion.
being male or female. You didn't have any control over it. So I don't think there should be any. Yeah, look, I mean, all your parents speak, but it's just be open. And if you are feeling, I think that's what, if we can take away this from this conversation, I think would be, if you're, just discuss what you're feeling with your friends or someone close to you. Don't keep it within you and think there's no one out there that I can share this, because that's where the issue is. Your head is the worst place to be in, especially when you're going through that, because you multiply things and you make it worse than it is.
Absolutely.
And that's when people take actions, because they think there's no point of me existing in this beautiful earth that we have. And they make choices that I believe it's wrong, because there are so much behind them, family, friends, and things they could have been or achieved or made an impression on this world. So please talk about positives, negative, what you're feeling, and it's okay to do that. It's not going to make you less of a man. I think people appreciate you having honest conversation. I think that's how you connect with
and I think like
friends.
If you're fortunate enough to still have family on this earth, then if you do open up, I guarantee you these people will just embrace you. They'll make a circle around you, and they'll be like, just tell me everything, because they would rather hear the worst of things than not have you on this earth.
And sometimes it's not as bad as you think it is, and you speak to people like, and you talk to them, and you're like, that happens so many times. We just overthink, and that it ruins us from the inside. So we're gonna put a Movember link, Nick, if you can. And again, it's not about money. If you wanna donate to our group, Area Specialist, you are more than welcome to. If you're not, that's fine, as long as you can get this message of please
raising awareness.
Just awareness. Just please talk about it, and just understand it's normal to have bad days as you have good days, and just treat each other with love, and because I think that's what's most important.
That is.
That's it.
Because happiness, there's nothing better than happiness.
Respect and humility.
That's it. So guys, I think that's a good place to stop this conversation. I think it's going to end on a good note. I want to thank you, Sam Master, for opening up. I didn't expect it to go this well.
Thank you.
But I appreciate you opening up. And Dylan, you too, man. Thanks for coming along, And,
Yeah, thanks, Sam, for setting this
Pleasure.
up, and thank you for asking me to join and have a
No,
chat
it was
with
a
you.
pleasure.
And
Yes.
Nick, again, thanks for your time to make sure that we can make this happen. And
absolutely.
we
And
can,
if this has brought up any issues for you guys listening, I will put up a link to a helpline as well, which is they're very good. They get, I think they get donations from Beyond Blue as well, which
Yes.
which just helps them grow. And they're very good at what they do. So if you need to talk to someone, please get in touch with anyone and just speak about it.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you,
guys.
the
Cheers.
boys.